Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to Small Streamer Diaries, the podcast. This is episode 25. And for this episode, I've here with me my friend Lil P. Lil P, hello, how are you?
Hello, thanks for having me on. I'm doing good. How about yourself?
I'm good. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. So, Lil P has been on the podcast before. However, Lil P, welcome to your very first solo episode, I guess, because all the other times you have been on with our friend Commander Frost, who unfortunately could not be here today. I mean, we did ask him. We didn't leave him out on purpose. We did ask him to be here. Unfortunately, he could not be here. So it's just going to be Lil P and I today. So congratulations on your very own episode.
Yes.
Episode 25 is going to be your Lil P's episode. Yes. Okay, so it has been a while since you've been on the podcast, and since it is your first, I don't know if I want to say solo episode because I'm here too, but I don't know, it's your episode. So could you do just a little introduction of yourself for those that may have missed, those episodes that you were in, and since this is your very own special episode, you could have, your introduction here. So
absolutely. Go for it. So for those who do not know me, I am Lil P66. Just go by Lil P. I started streaming on Twitch in July of 2021 and started YouTube in July of 2022. And in July of 2023, I became a YouTube partner. So super happy about that stuff. My primary focus has really lately just been on horror, especially Phasmophobia game. That's what kind of sparked off my channel and been going from there. So it's been a lot of fun.
And congratulations on partner. So
thank you.
I'm sure you mentioned this, the first time you were on the episode, and I just didn't remember, but I didn't realize you had started in July 2021. So you started almost right after me, because I started June on Twitch, June of 2021 on Twitch. So we started almost at exactly the same time.
Yep, and I believe Frost was around that same time too.
Yeah, he was just a few months before me. I think it was April of that year he started too. So yeah, we all started around the same time.
Yeah, because he was one of the first people I rated and met when I started streaming, and been friends with him ever since. And I think I met you there too. And yeah, so it's been a fun 2 years.
Oh, so is that how you met him? You rated him and that's how you met him?
Yes, I think I met him in another stream, and then he was online when I was going to go off, and he was playing Pokemon. And as you can tell by my hat, I love Pokemon. So I was like, oh yeah, I'll rate him. I'll get a chance to watch him. And been friends ever since.
Nice. Yeah, we met through Commander Frost's stream, and then I think you started coming into my streams, and we started talking about YouTube.
Yes,
I think that's how that happened.
Really interesting. I remember you on Frost stream, and then he would shout you out, and then he just ended up saying that you went to YouTube. I was like, that's pretty interesting. And so I figured I'd come check it out. And you started this series as a video.
Yes.
And I mean, as you know, I'm big on learning everything about different platforms, what's good, what's bad, testing things out. So I wanted to hear both sides to everything.
Yeah, and I love that attitude. I mean, I think that's an attitude we should all have. I don't think enough people have that kind of attitude because, I've told you this many times before, but just for those who haven't heard me say this 1,000 times before, when I went to YouTube, everybody thought I was crazy. And I was like, okay, but why not? We keep getting told to stand out as streamers, but then we want to go do what everybody else is doing. That doesn't compute.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah. Okay, so you've done a few episodes of the podcast, 2 or 3 episodes, I think. But the last time you were on, it was a while ago. It's been 6 months. And so 6 months ago, you were primarily still on Twitch. Is that correct?
Yes. I don't even know if I had done a YouTube stream yet.
Okay, so I think the last episode that you were on, it was not about streaming platforms or anything. It was on the stream life balance, but I think we probably talked about the different streaming platforms. I'm sure it came up because one of the reasons that I went to YouTube was because it gave me more time back in my life. Because, on YouTube, you can just post stuff and you can let it grow. On Twitch, you have to be live or your channel is just irrelevant. And so I'm sure that came up in the stream life balance episode. But basically, I know you have been doing a lot of stuff on YouTube since then. And I wanted to do this kind of like 6-month check-in to see how you're feeling now, because Twitch has also done a lot of moves in that period of time. And so has YouTube, really. Like, they've both made a ton of moves in the past 6 months. And so I just thought we would check in and see how we're feeling now. So my first question for you is, what do you think of all the recent moves that Twitch has been making lately?
I think like overall when it comes to Twitch, they've done a lot of good moves recently. Like what's interesting on the app, I don't know if you've been on the Twitch mobile app, but instead of like follow channels, it has like a clip suggestion for somebody you may follow, which I thought was interesting. I think it is somebody you follow and not somebody random. But I was like, that's kind of interesting. But typically, I don't bother with it. I think what Twitch did good with the vertical editor. I think there's just more that could have been done with it to automatically convert your clips into vertical format to post on YouTube Shorts or TikTok. Like that's a good start for to do that, but you know, me, I don't really use that. I edit mine on their own. I think that kind of stuff is good when it comes to that. What I just absolutely can't stand about Twitch is the ads. I don't think that has gotten any better. And the fact that they raised the price of Twitch Turbo.
Did they really? I didn't know
annoying.
that.
Yeah, they.
How much is it now?
I think it's somewhere between like $15 to $20.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Because
yeah, I'll have to look that up. I didn't know.
Getting it.
yeah.
Yeah, it sucks because like I don't like just watch one streamer. I like to go to multiple, and that's if you really want to grow on Twitch, like that's the way is to go into many different communities, hang out, you know, people that have this play the similar stuff as you. And basically what I've sort of boiled down to is just to like buy bits to give people because I can't sub to everybody and just like spread stuff out that way. But that's why but then I was like, maybe I should just do Twitch Turbo because the ads can be really annoying, which I think we had talked about before in another episode.
Yeah.
And I wish they could do something better, but it is what it is.
So so Twitch Turbo, does that just get rid of ads? Or do you get any other benefits?
I think that's pretty much it.
That's it. Okay.
Maybe more. That's primarily why people do it. Like it still supports the streamer and that they'll still get like ad money from you. You're still count as like viewing ads with Twitch Turbo, but they don't like get anything from the Twitch Turbo sell. That's all to Twitch. And I don't know if you saw Stream Scheme's video on like the whole conspiracy theory with Twitch Turbo, which
no, I didn't. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, you'll have to check it out. It's like Twitch forced all the ads to force people to buy Turbo and then raise the price of Turbo so they could just make more money and take it away from creators. It makes a lot of sense when you think about it, but I don't know if that was primarily their reason or not, but it was very well done.
Yeah. So YouTube Premium, I think that's what it's called. That's like the equivalent to Twitch Turbo, and I think that's still $10, but it does the same thing. It gets rid of ads, but also I didn't know this. I found this out recently. If you have YouTube Premium, a portion of that money goes to like the creators that you watch the most. So my friend Lumberjack Samurai, who is a streamer on YouTube, and he's been on the podcast before as well, he said that he like got a lot more revenue than he was expecting from people who had like YouTube Premium and watched him. So that's why I was wondering, like, does Twitch Turbo like do anything like that? Like that would be a really good benefit as well.
Yeah, not that I know of. They just count. They give you credit towards the ads for the streamer if somebody with Turbo watches it, but there's not a lot of people that I know that really have Turbo anyways. So.
Me neither. Honestly, a lot of people don't even know that Turbo exists. Is what I found. Like they're like, what is that? Twitch doesn't seem to advertise it very much.
No, I think they started to try to advertise it more.
Yeah.
Like it recommended to people now if you watch a bunch, but I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, so we went kind of off track there, but yes. Okay, so about the clips thing that you were talking about, I don't really go on the Twitch app very much, and I mean, I don't spend a ton of time on Twitch these days, but I do, still have some friends on there that I do go on there from time to time. But they do have the clips thing on like desktop too, and I see all these like recommended clips from also from people I don't follow. So yeah, I do think their discoverability is getting a little bit better. I mean, not enough, but it's been a little better.
Yeah, and I think if I'm not mistaken, in September, so they're gonna have like their own clip short format type thing where you can go and browse random stuff like a TikTok feed.
Okay.
But I will see how that goes. I just like the whole thing with that is I just don't think people go to Twitch to watch VODs.
Right. I
I think
agree.
people go to Twitch to watch live stuff. And I think while all that stuff is good, if I'm going to Twitch, I'm not going to go look at clips to try to find somebody new. I'm just going to look at who's live and go there and try it out, or just go to people I already watch. So while I think it can be good and it's definitely better than nothing, I think if people are going to rely on that, I don't know if they're going to have like great return on investment with that.
I agree. I totally agree. I don't even think people watch clips or VODs on Twitch. Like they take them and then they put them somewhere else. So yeah, we'll see how it turns out. We'll keep an eye on it, but I don't think it's gonna really go anywhere. Okay, so how often are you streaming on Twitch these days?
So typically once or twice a week is what it's been. Uh, I used to do it about 4 times a week, and then now I'm kind of doing either half and half between YouTube and Twitch, or it's typically half and half basically now. What I've decided with it. So I do still stream there some, but I've definitely cut back on it.
Okay, and what do you stream on Twitch?
So I will stream like horror games, like Phasmophobia, and then other ones, and then also do like Pokemon on there, and just like some random stuff, which is kind of like what I view more my Twitch streams for, compared to YouTube, because my YouTube I try to keep it just horror stuff, and especially Phasmophobia lately. While Twitch, like I was playing Grounded with Commander Frost on there. Uh, I do like the Pokemon raids on Scarlet and Violet when they come out, but obviously that's not like a good fit for my horror channel. So, and the DLC is coming out, I think, in that game in September. So I plan to do that on Twitch because I don't want that stuff mixed in with my YouTube channel, based on how I want to run things with that. So typically that's what I'll do on Twitch is if I just want to play something random or do something on, or play with other people on different things, I'll do that on there. And YouTube, I've like only ever streamed Phasmophobia on YouTube.
Okay, so your Twitch channel is like your variety channel.
Yes.
And then your YouTube channel is like your Phasmophobia channel.
Yeah. That's pretty much the way I've had it set up.
Yeah. I mean, you could create another YouTube channel.
I do. I have a Pokemon one.
You do? You have a Pokemon channel?
So I created it a while back when Scarlet and Violet came out, and I was like, started from scratch. I posted like 3 shorts. They got like 5,000 views. I posted my first long form video on there, got like 2,000 views on like how to do this raid. And then I was like, this is actually a really good start. But
yeah,
like I wanted to focus on my Phasmo YouTube because that was going really well. And so there's just not enough time to do all that. So I was like, I'm going to put all my focus on my main YouTube channel, but I still have the Pokemon one. I just haven't gone on it in a while.
Yeah. Well, not that I want you to, spend more time on this, but you could make another channel that's like a variety channel. If you wanted, to leave Twitch behind completely, which I'm not saying you should do, of course, it's your life. But you know how I feel about Twitch and YouTube. But just saying, like, there's possibilities that you could do if you wanted to leave Twitch. You could have like 3 YouTube channels, like one's Phasmophobia and one is Pokemon, and then one is you could just be like, you could just come watch me play whatever.
Yes, and that is a possibility that has been like kind of considered, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's my main focus is on my main channel because it's gone so well the past month on YouTube that I just want to kind of keep up that momentum and keep everything up with that. And that's
Yeah.
my
And
primary focus.
yeah, and that makes sense. And then once you get that channel big enough, then you could branch out to other games on that same channel, because that's what everybody says, right? Is like focus on one game or one genre and then build up your audience, and then once you get a big enough audience, then you can branch out. Because now all the big, gaming YouTubers, they play like literally whatever they want, and they'll still get their audience watching them play whatever they want.
Yeah, and I think with the horror, there's enough on there, and I play enough of the horror that it could fall into the same channel. Like I've posted Remnant Records clips, which is another very similar to Phasmo game. Forewarned, I posted clips on there, so keeping it and within the same genre stuff is probably the better approach and the approach that I'm taking with it. But yeah, if you get huge, you could play whatever and people show up.
Yeah. Okay, so how would you compare YouTube streaming to Twitch now versus like 6 months ago?
It's definitely gotten better because there's more out there for it. The biggest thing that I want is more ways for the viewer to be able to interact with the stream, not necessarily through channel points, but like on my Twitch, I'll have like sound alerts and stuff set up to try to scare me. YouTube doesn't have like anything really great for that. Now Dixper is like, I don't know if you've ever heard of Dixper, but for those that haven't, it's like a way for people to kind of jump scare you on stream or affect like your controller, your movement, whatever, either to try to get you killed in the game or to scare you. Either way, like I think there is a YouTube setup for it now that I don't think they had it before that I do want to look into because I mean, people enjoy trying to scare me, and it's also like extra revenue too that you can sort of put your own price on things. If you want to make it all free, you can, or if people want to buy more stuff. So it is something I did want to look at setting up, but I have to do stuff personally because one time somebody redeemed something and it crashed my whole stream.
Oh no.
And I was like, all right, that is not the intent of it, but I guess it overloaded the resources. So I was like, all right, I need to figure out what's going to work and what's not and do that. But like YouTube doesn't have anything, I guess, like built in for that as well as Twitch does. But I know with you now too, like YouTube has alerts and stuff you can have on your streams. I have to look into that stuff. It's just, I think it's a little bit different because I don't think people necessarily go in expecting that on YouTube, but I think people might like it. And it's just extra way to shout people out who do support and all that. And YouTube has gotten better about it, but like, I don't know, I tried to set stuff up with Nightbot before, and if stuff doesn't work, like there was nothing out there to figure out like how to get stuff set up. And now there's like more and more stuff out there because it is getting better. And yeah, it's definitely better than what it was. I just wish that they would add some more things, not just like channel points like that. I don't really care. Like, and channel points are not like the be all end all, but it's just nice to have extra things that's more easily built in for people to be able to interact with it. At least that's what I like.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like YouTube is just not, even if they don't have their own stuff, they are just like not set up or integrated with other third-party apps like Dixper. And with Dixper, I know that's gotten very, very popular. I have looked at it, not extensively, but it's like people buy like a certain amount of like points or whatever, right? And then they like redeem it for whatever the streamer has set up, like you said, like it's like jump scares, or they try to kill you in the game or something like that. But yeah, YouTube is not very well integrated with any like live streaming stuff. And I do have alerts, but I have a lot less alerts now because with subscribers on YouTube, which is the equivalent of a follow on Twitch, but YouTube calls them subscribers, and then what subscribers are on Twitch, they're members on YouTube. So subscribers on YouTube, so somebody, follows you, I get a lot less of those alerts because they won't show up if people have their subscriptions list set to private. So it looks like on my like activity feed, it looks like nobody subscribed to me, but it's just that very few people have their subscriptions set to public. But I mean, if they, if an alert showed up telling me somebody subscribed to me and they were set to private, like what's the point of them setting it to private? So I don't get like a ton of alerts anymore. But that's just, that's just comes with the YouTube as a platform. Like it does give a little bit more privacy in that you can set your subscriptions to private. But and then also, about like Nightbot and stuff, like I couldn't get like any of my bots to work when I first started on YouTube. Back in my day, we had to walk uphill on YouTube both ways in the snow on one foot. And we didn't have like raids. We didn't have, I don't know, I don't remember. We didn't have a bunch of stuff. But I remember when I started, like we didn't have raids at all. And that's one thing people told me like they didn't want to go to YouTube for, because they were like, well, they don't have raids over there. But they do now. They're called live redirects, which is not a good name for YouTube, but they're there. But I did, and my alerts didn't work. My commands didn't work at first. I had a bunch of like chat commands set up for when I was on Twitch. None of those worked on YouTube. They work now, but none of those worked. None of my alerts worked. Now they work, but yeah, like a lot of stuff just doesn't work on YouTube. All right, well, thanks for coming to my TED Talk. That was a lot for me. Okay, so you said it took you like a year to get to partner on YouTube, right?
Yes.
Okay, and did you find that difficult or easy to get to partner?
It's funny in that I think it was pretty good time for everything, but it doesn't feel like you're doing as good as you're doing, like on YouTube, because I had a video that I made a guide, because when Phasmophobia changed their item shop, I saw a lot of people had questions about it. So I was like, well, I figured this out pretty fast, so I'm going to make a video on it. I did like a quick 5-minute video, didn't spend much time editing it. It was like right before I was going to stream on Twitch. I was like, I'm going to spend this time beforehand, just make it quick, put it out. And then that thing ended up with like 20,000 views. And I'm like, I don't even know how. It was just like a quick video, but I saw my watch hours like going up, everything like that. And I was like, it didn't really feel like much was going. And then, but I just kept posting. Some stuff would do good. I mean, like a lot of stuff just like slowly does good over time with me. So a lot of my stuff I post are guides, and it's knowing that that's how people are going to find me. And then I started to do more shorts because I did some did good, some didn't. And then they got frustrating. So then I stopped and I was like, well, let me try to do some of these again. And they started getting views. And then I had one short that just took off, and it's like it hasn't slowed down since. And that helped me get to partner, because I had the hardest part for me was subscribers. I had my watch hours months ago. And it was like, I think I got my watch hours when I had like 400 subs. I was like, man, it's going to take me forever to get to 1,000. And I already have all these watch hours. And then it was funny because they introduced the lowered requirement when I had like 800 subscribers or 900 subscribers. So I was like almost there for the full partner. I got the other one early and then was able to get the full one after. But it is a lot of work involved, because a lot goes in behind the scenes, at least if you want to succeed, because just making the video and posting it is like half the work. There's like thumbnail, title, and strategy, like, and also what content to make. What are you going to think is going to work? What does your audience want to see? And just putting all that stuff together, and then learning how to edit and looking all that stuff up. So much goes into the back end that it just feels like a lot. And the hard work though pays off, because when being consistent with everything, and has helped to where I had my topic, I did all these guides on it. And when my shorts started taking off and more people started finding my channel through that, I already had that backlog of stuff that they can go through as well to look at things. Or when other videos took off, they can go back and look at other things because I've already done that. So It's definitely that snowball effect because, like I said, it took me about a year to get 1,000 subs. And in the past 28 days, I've gained 1,000 more new subs. So what took me a year now has been 30 days. And it's definitely that snowball effect that it just keeps on going. And that's what's so good about YouTube in that aspect, because it's sent to people who want my content, and it just builds up from there. And like you had mentioned, that's the biggest thing about YouTube, was to be able to grow when you're offline, but also looking at different platforms to do everything on, so you can get more eyes on your channel, because just putting all your eggs in one basket is not the way to go. So I will say, while YouTube, there's a lot of work if you want to succeed on YouTube that I don't think people want to spend the time doing. But if you take the time to learn what makes a good thumbnail, what makes a good title, what type of topic should you post, how you want to sort of get everything together in your whole package to send out, it can definitely pay off in the long run.
Yeah, I always tell people, like, YouTube is a long game. Like, you definitely have to be more patient with YouTube. Whereas I think when you're on Twitch, I feel like everything is a short-term win, and it's like people are always chasing a high. Like, they go live because they're like, maybe, maybe somebody will raid me tonight, or maybe somebody will just run across my stream tonight. And it's like they're always like chasing this high. Whereas on YouTube, I've had some shorts that were literally dead for like a whole day, like a whole 24 hours. And then just, I wake up, just 2,000, like 1K, like 2,000 views. And I didn't even know that happened. Like, I was asleep when that happened. And so I think YouTube definitely is more of a long game than Twitch. And yeah, like you said, it's like it doesn't feel like you're going anywhere on YouTube, but I promise, like, people that you don't even know are watching you. And I mean, in like a non-creepy way, but people will know, like, if your content is of value and people want to watch your content, like, they'll notice. Which also kind of ties into my other question for you. So you had mentioned that you had created a guide, like a tutorial on something that you noticed that Phasmophobia had come out with, and you noticed a lot of people had questions on it. So how did you figure out that a lot of people had questions on it?
So I go on the Phasmophobia Reddit a lot. Like, so essentially, when I'm on Reddit, I'm on like either the Phasmophobia subreddit, or like stuff on Twitch, or like YouTubers, helping them out if they have questions, or seeing if there's advice on there. A lot of the stuff is not like very good, or stuff they can find on their own, or just like, what are we doing here? But a few of the times there's stuff to look at it. And so that was the primary way, was looking at the subreddit afterwards. And it was my same like strategy I sort of employed recently, because they had a huge update that changed everything in the game. But one of the biggest things that I saw was people confusing freezing temperatures in the game, because they changed it. And I did that video, and it started out to be one of my most successful videos over the first 24 hours. And then I did another one where it was people were confused about dots in the game, which was a piece of evidence. So I did that. And that, again, I was 1 out of 10. So just researching things, and that's for anything, for any topic, really. What are people looking about online? Because part of YouTube, again, research. What do people have questions on? What's going to work? What are people going to want to search? And posting that, and that can help get your channel out there. And one of the weirdest things was I would make these shorts, and some of my views would come from Google, like for traffic sources. And I'm like, this is super weird. Like, where all these people are coming from Google? Like, it wasn't through the shorts feed. It wasn't through browse. It was through Google search. I was like, this is super weird. That, as I think I did, it was like a bug update or something. And I guess it was people like, wait, there was a bug? Like, what's the bug? And so I just did like a short on it. And that was coming from Google, the traffic. And there's just so many different ways to be discovered too, that I don't think people really think about. Because I was like, I never thought about that. But if you Google a question, it's going to pop up a YouTube video, And sometimes it'll send you directly to the timestamp of what it is that you're looking for. And that's extra way to be discovered. And all that like goes together. And it's super interesting and stuff I never thought about, but it's all there based on what you decide to post and how you do everything.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense since Google owns YouTube, and YouTube is also essentially a search engine for videos. But that's also another really big difference I feel like that's in the culture of YouTube versus Twitch is that like on YouTube, you like have to look at your numbers and your analytics in order to grow and understand what kind of content you should be posting. Whereas on Twitch, like the culture is very like, don't look at the numbers, which I just like don't subscribe to that belief because like I understand it's really hard in the beginning when you're a new creator, that's all you're going to do. And if you have a stream where nobody comes in or only like very few people come in, you're going to be really upset and you're going to want to turn your viewer count off and all that stuff. But I think that honestly, I feel as a, somebody who's been a new creator, still really is a new creator because I've only been doing it for like a little over 2 years. And we've got people out here have been doing it since YouTube was like brand new. And I feel like that's something that I feel like that's a phase for new creators and that you can kind of like desensitize yourself to it and train yourself out of it and just kind of start seeing the numbers as just a tool for yourself in order to create the best content that you can. But yeah, I just feel like it's just like a huge culture difference between Twitch and YouTube. I've noticed.
I think the biggest thing, which I still like sort of do, is I think you definitely want to look at the numbers. I think the issue lies with people is when they look at their viewer count, live viewer count, and you let it affect the way that you stream. And I think that's why, like for new people, I'd recommend turning off viewer count. But then you have those people that are like, well, if I'm the only one in my stream, why should I talk? It's like, well, if that's your mindset, you're not really going to grow because it's your job to entertain. Because by the time you see that number change, they could already be gone because it takes time for Twitch or YouTube or whatever to update the numbers. And if that's the mindset, like, yeah, but you have to go out there, you have to be entertaining in hopes that people will come to your stream and stick around and not, okay, if nobody's here, I'm not going to say anything because that's not the way to grow. And I think people can also be like, think that they have a great idea or they're like really excited and nobody comes out and it could have been a great idea. People, again, if you're on Twitch, if you're, and let's say it's like a Saturday night, I mean, maybe people are going out with family or going out and having fun or whatever, and you have this great idea for Saturday night, but people are busy in their real life. That's what, I mean, that's kind of the biggest downside of Twitch when it comes to that. But then you're like, well, I don't know, nobody showed up to my big event that I've had. It could just be people are just busy. But then they let it affect them, and the people that do show up, either it brings the stream down or whatever. And yeah, it's kind of interesting. I mean, Twitch has analytics, but some of it just seems like super flawed to me. Like there'll be recommendations on, hey, you should stream this game based on this. Like it'll tell you based on your average viewers where you would place what recommended you stream. Just like to me, it's kind of, I don't think nobody should pick a game to stream just because they want to grow. And that seems to be like what Twitch's analytics are geared towards is, hey, if you play this game, you might be higher up in the list. What if I don't like that game? What if I don't want to do that? And I think that that's what can bring people down too, is if they stream something that they don't enjoy just because it brings them viewers, or trying to stream something they don't just because they think it'll bring them viewers. Just like people who want to pick a certain niche on YouTube because they think it's going to make them the most money. But if they're not actually passionate about the niche, they're not going to make any money because you're not going to be able to keep up the grind. And that's the thing with Phasmophobia. I love that game. Since it came out, I was addicted to it, learned everything about it. And part of why I did it, created the YouTube channel, was because I enjoy helping new players in the game. I had a lot of friends do it. I just joined, so I wanted to help them out. I thought, why not make videos on it? Because I feel like I can be more concise or other things to help people out. And that's what I think, if you want to succeed, is things just to think about as well. if you are lost and don't know what to do, pick something you're passionate about, and you just gotta go with it. I think that kind of goes away from the analytics stuff, but yes, you still need to look at analytics to figure out what areas can you improve on. I think the problem is, and what I've heard is like, don't look at your videos a week out. Like, wait a month, give it time to go out there and then see what worked, what didn't. Because if you're looking too fast, your click-through rate could be higher early on because it's going to be your most loyal people that are watching it. So it's going to be higher. It's going to go down over time. And so if you're basing stuff based on like a few days or a week, just give it more time. But there's definitely stuff to look at. I don't think Twitch really has great analytics. I think the stats they give you can also be flawed. They'll show you like when people chatted the most. Well, what if you were playing like a stream game and people hit like ! play to join? Your chat message is going to be higher than, were you playing good content? Was that like, oh, you should do this every time? Or was it just because that's what happened in that moment? Like, so the Twitch's analytics are not very detailed.
Yeah. And I also feel like the only thing anyone ever looks at on Twitch anyway is how many viewers did I have? And I feel like that's really the only number that matters on Twitch, whereas on YouTube it's like every single number matters. And then to add on to some of the other things that you said, like I have seen people on Twitter who have posted analytics of their videos on YouTube literally a year later or more than a year later, and their video would just be like dead, and then like day 365 is just up. Like YouTube is such a long game. And then to add on to what you said about, people saying, if nobody is in my chat talking, why should I be talking? You know what? I've heard that a lot too, actually. And I think people get it twisted. Like they think that they need to be responding to the chat, but it's the other way around. Like the chat should be responding to you. So like you should be doing stuff on stream. You should be saying stuff on stream. And the chat will be responding to the things you're doing or saying. So it's like it's the other way around. And then like also another thing I hear is like, why should I post content when I don't have an audience and nobody's gonna watch it? But it's the other way around. Like you post the content to get the audience. Like you don't get the audience first. That doesn't make any sense. So when I started, like I was really afraid to post anything because I was like, oh, I don't have an audience. But then I was like, I got very riled up about Twitch and YouTube stuff, and that's what I started posting about. And that's the only reason like people started noticing me, is that I was starting to like post about Twitch and YouTube. And then I also started posting more stuff around that time. I also started posting more stuff about like the games I was playing and stuff. But that's the only reason my channel grew, is because I was posting more stuff. So it's like it's the other way around. I think people get it confused. Like it's the other way around. Your chat is responding to you. So what I do is when I'm playing a game, I will just like comment on whatever I'm doing. Like I'm literally just thinking out loud. And then people will respond to that. And then you just have conversations off of that. Okay, so where were we? Okay, so we talked so long about that question that I lost track of where we were on the question list. Okay, so what do you feel is growing more, your Twitch or your YouTube channel?
My YouTube channel by far is growing way better than my Twitch.
Yeah. Okay, and do you feel like that's because of your should I say like offline content, basically your non-live streams, like your shorts and your videos?
So shorts have definitely helped my channel the most. And I think a lot of people have the wrong impressions about shorts. I created guides specifically for shorts, right? Because I had a strategy, and that's the thing. Like with anything you're doing in content creation, you should have a strategy. My strategy was shorts seem to be increasing. I have a lot of search traffic from shorts. So my thought was, let me take some of my guides, shorten them up, put them in vertical format, because if people are searching on YouTube, and nothing's out there, my short may be pushed to the top of the search results and people are going to be more likely to find me. So I would just do quick guides on like the cursed items in the game, which my most viewed short is on the monkey paw, like what every monkey paw wish does in the game. And that just exploded. I wasn't expecting anything about it. I'm just going to put this out there because I was expecting more search traffic than shorts feed. So I thought over time, it's going to build up more from search because it's more of a search based guide. But what I found is I still get great results from search, but my swipe versus swiped away is like pretty high percentage on there. I was like, I was not expecting that. But I made that with the idea in mind that it's going to help me in the long term. And it wasn't it had a purpose to it. It was a guide. It's going to help people. They're going to, hey, if I have a question about what this is, I'm going to watch a 1 minute short versus a 20-minute video. And I think that's the same thing with anything. I think what a lot of people forget too sometimes is put yourself in viewer shoes and what you're search for and what you would want. And it's like, hey, if I have a question, I want as quick of an answer as possible. And that's what shorts can do. And that was my thought with a lot of the shorts is I'm going to post guides and how to do stuff. And so what I'll do now is like I'll post a guide and I'll do like a quick short about it as well. So if somebody wants to watch a long form to maybe watch me explain it more, they can do that. But if they just want a quick little short guide, they have that there too. And it's everything. I think people think like, well, people's attention spans are too short and it's just going to ruin your channel if you do shorts and all that. And it's like, I don't think that's the case. I think it depends on what your goal is. Like, I think people are like, I'm just going to post this as like an advertisement for my video. And it's like, if that's what it is, you're not going to get a lot of views because you're not viewing it the right way. You can still have a long form and a short and be about the same idea. It can still go to the long form too, because YouTube will push your long forms to people who watch your shorts. And that's helped me out. Like most of my viewers are from shorts, but my long forms still do really well. And my live streams keep on improving each time. And I've been shocked by the results from my live streams with how many people have shown up from there. But what also helps is that if somebody does come across your short and you're live, they'll see you're live. I had somebody come in the other day that was like, I saw like 3 of your shorts and then saw that you were live. So I figured I'd pop in and say hi. I'm like, you don't get that on Twitch. Maybe in the future, but you know, YouTube, it's there and it can be the same thing. I mean, like TikTok's a whole different thing. I know nothing about TikTok streams or anything, but I know when I've been on TikTok, you know, I'll see somebody's short and then if there's or their TikTok, and then if they're streaming, it'll come up at some point. But that's the thing that I think helps out with that. But it's just the whole having a strategy with it. And I think that was what you were asking me. I got away from it originally going on stuff. But yes, offline content. I think that was the question.
Yeah, no,
definitely.
No, that was relevant.
More,
yeah.
So,
and I think it's going to be even better now because YouTube is introducing a thing where they are going to let you link a long form to a short. So it's going to have like a little link in it. So if, you know, especially with your stuff, you know, a lot of your shorts come from your guides. So you could just be like, you know, if you want to learn more or if you have more questions, you can go to the long form video, or I guess you wouldn't say long form in the video. Like we refer to it that way, but when we like talk in videos, we don't tell viewers like long form, I guess, unless we're talking about how to make them or whatever, our strategy behind them. But you can have a link in your short that will direct them to that long form video.
Yeah, that'll be interesting because I know they're getting away from links and shorts completely. So it's nice to know if they do have a way you can be like, hey, if you're interested in this, watch this basically as a long form, because I think starting at 31st, they're like all links are going to be gone, at which I have all my descriptions the same as for different links, like where to follow me and all that. But apparently those are going away in shorts, which is weird. I don't know why YouTube made that decision.
Yeah, it was something about combating spam and bots in the comments. Yeah. But now they're going to add a thing where you can like link long form to your short. Also, I'll have to send you tweets because there's a mock-up of it on Twitter. I'll send it to you on what it looks like.
Yeah.
It's like a little link above the description. Like on TikTok, like if you ever see the TikToks where people are trying to sell stuff and they're like, oh, you can buy it in the shop that's linked, and it has a little link right above the description. It looks exactly like that.
Okay.
Which I guess
That
is
makes
also,
sense.
I don't know if they're going to do this, but maybe they're going to do it the same way as TikTok, where you can also link like a shop, because YouTube has like a merch store thing.
Yes.
So yeah, I haven't thought about that before. I'll have to see if I can find out if they're planning on allowing you to link to the merch shop. But I mean, I would think so, because like you can link it to, I mean, I think you can link it to like anything. I'll look into it.
I would think.
Yeah.
I also think it also has to do with YouTube wants people to stay on YouTube.
Yeah.
Because I know they took away stuff out of your about page or on your channel page. Like it doesn't have the little icons to click to like follow on Twitch, Discord, whatever. Which I just think that's YouTube's way of saying we're going to try to keep everybody on YouTube as much as possible.
Yeah. Okay, so do you have a different community on YouTube than you do on Twitch?
So overall, yes. But what I've also noticed is that people who watch my live streams on YouTube will also go to Twitch. But people from YouTube seem to be way more involved in my community, which is kind of odd. I wouldn't say it's odd. It's just surprising to me, because like if you look at who's like the most active in my Discord, it's all people that came from YouTube. I don't know why that is. I don't know. It just odd from what I noticed, and it's surprising. But they will go to Twitch as well. There have been people that have come to my YouTube from Twitch, but I don't know. Like it just seems to be. And I guess that was the whole reason why they say make a YouTube to get people to go to your Twitch. But I also find it easier for people who, if they're already like YouTube, they're going to stay on YouTube anyways. And what's the point in forcing them to go over if I'm going to get better numbers on YouTube? Which in the end, that's what it's been lately for me. My numbers on YouTube, even live streams, have been better than my Twitch. And so it's like, why, if it's going better on YouTube, would I then force them over to Twitch just for the, little extra things? But there's been people that have come from Twitch to my YouTube, like my most top supporters, but they watched me on YouTube anyways if I would post a video, even though they're originally from Twitch. So it's just a lot, and that I've been talking about between like both of that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. I wonder if it's because, I mean, I find the same thing, but then again, I'm not on Twitch anymore, so people don't have a choice. But I do feel like, when I got affiliate on Twitch, I mean, that just happened so quickly. I got it in like 2 weeks, and then it took me like 2 years to get partner on YouTube. But the people that were watching me on YouTube, I mean, they'd been watching me for almost 2 years versus like 2 weeks on Twitch. So of course they're more invested in me and my channel on YouTube. So I wonder if it's just like people, are more active in your community because they're like watching your videos even when you're not online, and they've got other content to, watch, and they can, see your face and they can hear your voice. And I wonder if that makes them like more invested in you and your channel and your community. I mean, I don't know. That's very interesting.
Yeah, I didn't think about it like that. That makes sense. But your experience with getting affiliate is like the exact same as mine. Like, I got it. Like, I think it's the same thing as you. The day streamed was the hardest part for me to get affiliate on Twitch, because I was already in other communities and it was all there. But same time, a lot of the people that were there in the beginning, I don't even see anymore. Mm-hmm. And some of it, I think, like I made the decision earlier this year to say, I wanted to be more of a horror streamer in general. I wanted to more niche down on Twitch. So I was already doing the thing on YouTube, but I was like on my Twitch, I wanted to more niche down, because before it was just like, I'm just going to play whatever. And I think that does make it really hard to grow, and it's not impossible. But what I wasn't happy with my growth on Twitch. And that's why I'm like, all right, I want to focus, do more on the YouTube stuff and more niche down and make it to where I can tell people like, hey, if you enjoy horror content or you enjoy Pokemon, like that's what this Twitch is mainly going to be about. There's going to be like other stuff here and there, but that's primarily what it is. If you like that stuff, feel free to stick around. And all that stuff I think has definitely helped, but and my Twitch numbers have still gotten, somewhat better, but YouTube numbers have been better than Twitch. And I think like that's the biggest thing. I think like content creators in general is nobody should pigeonhole themselves into one thing just because they think like that's what they want to do. And open up your mind to trying different things. And that's what I did, because I'm like, hey, I'm not happy with this. I'm going to try YouTube, or I'm going to try something else to see if that works. And I think because of that, that's what helped me to succeed to the point that I've been at, because I have been willing to change. I've been willing to learn new things, try new things, and it's helped out in the long run. And I think like it almost took like a huge wake up call. Like I said, I watch a lot of Stream Scheme. I love the way he presents things. And he had the same thing where he was talking about how people are like, I'm not happy with Twitch. Okay, try YouTube. No, I'm not doing that. Well, why? Well, try something else. Okay, don't do YouTube. Post more to TikTok. Like, do stuff there. People are like, if they're not happy with something, they're not willing to change or not willing to try anything else. And that's what I want to do, is try, everywhere, not get rid of things. Just say, I'm going to change this up because I think it's going to help me. I mean, that's the whole reason you went to YouTube, is because you thought in the long run, that's what's going to help you. And I think a lot of people are scared to make that jump to something else, which doesn't have to be like a leap. You don't have to go straight off the mountain to go somewhere else, like just gradually. Like I said, I still stream on Twitch. Wanted to try out YouTube more. My YouTube's been going good and going to split it up as best as I can. But who's to say if I never did more on YouTube or didn't take the steps to learn the other stuff or to try different things, would I be here? Like, would my YouTube channel be as good? Would I still be stuck, on Twitch, not happy with my numbers, even though I was consistent with when I streamed? I streamed the same days, same time. Like, I don't think, if I didn't spend as much time as I did to try to figure out how to succeed in putting forth the skills I've learned, that I wouldn't be where I'm at today. And I think like, it doesn't matter if you've been doing it for 2 weeks or 2 years, 3 years. You can always like look to improve and look to try different things if you're not happy where you're at. And I mean, it's helped me. It can be hard though, because you are attached to other things. And I know when we were talking about this idea, it's like, why am I still streaming on Twitch? Which sometimes I ask myself the same question, why am I still streaming on Twitch if this is going so great? But, at the same time, everybody's human. Like, I've built friendships through Twitch. That's not easy to just walk away from completely. I've met, viewers, made friends that way through people that have supported me, through the past 2 years. So it's like, I don't want to have to post all that, which I don't have to. You split it whatever ways you want and make the decisions. But I think pigeonholing yourself into one thing and just being like resistant to change is not going to help. If you're not happy where you're at, try new things. Even if you're like, YouTube gaming sounds stupid, nobody goes to YouTube to watch streams. Did you try it? Like, what do you have to lose? Where it's like, TikTok is stupid, you can post whatever you want and you'll blow up huge. Like, okay, did you do it? No. So try it then. If you think that's your way to get success, but then at the other end, people do all this stuff and they're like, why aren't I growing? Why aren't I doing all this? It's like, sometimes you have to like take the step back yourself and look at stuff, look at guys, look at people who are successful, figure out why. And it takes a lot of work to that. I just don't think a lot of people who want to succeed are really willing to do. They just want that quick fix. And Twitch affiliate, it is easy.
It is. Well, first of all, I'm extremely, extremely proud of you for going out and putting yourself out there and trying those new things. You had no idea, what was going to happen with your YouTube channel. You had no idea what was going to happen if you started streaming on YouTube, stepping away from Twitch a little bit more. Like, you had no idea what was going to happen, but I'm extremely proud of you for trying, those steps, and it's really worked out for you. And I totally agree with you. Like, I mean, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results, right? And that's what people are doing. I experience the same thing all the time. People are streaming on Twitch like 12 hours a day. They're not doing anything else. They're like, why am I not growing? I mean, if you're happy doing that, and you are happy like streaming all the time on Twitch, and you don't want to post any content anywhere else, and you are completely happy with that, I'm not going to say anything to you. But those people that are like, why aren't I growing? I don't know why my channel, is not growing. And if I suggest doing anything different, I just get shut down immediately. They're just like, no, like, I don't have time for that. I need to stream more. I don't know YouTube. Oh, YouTube's too hard. YouTube partner requirements, they're too difficult. And that's why I had a whole episode on, our YouTube partner requirements too difficult, because I heard that a lot of the time. And my guest I had on that episode, Ariel, she was like, no, they are not too hard. So yeah, I've experienced exactly the same thing. Like, I find, people are really not willing to go outside their comfort zone. But I think definitely if you want to be a content creator, I think that is like the only thing you can do. Because one of the really big reasons I like YouTube is it really forced me into becoming a better creator. And when I was on Twitch, I had zero plans. I had zero strategy. I didn't even have to make a thumbnail. I barely had to make a title. I don't even know if people really look at titles on Twitch either. And I was just streaming whatever. And then, my channel wasn't growing, and I was really upset. I was like really unhappy, and looked into, different things, decided eventually to move over to YouTube. And now I have to learn something every single day. I have to learn something new every single day. I have to look up something new every single day. I'm constantly learning about thumbnails, titles, how to make my videos better, constantly thinking of new content ideas. I mean, nobody does this for me, right? Like, nobody does this podcast for me. Like, people just agree to come on, but like, I have to think of the episode idea. I think of the questions. I think of the guests, all that stuff. Like, I think YouTube really pushes you as a content creator. Okay, so I'm not even sure if I asked this, because I feel like we went off on a little off road there. But we were talking about, do you have a different community on YouTube than you do on Twitch? And you said that you do have a little bit of a different community. Some people come over to Twitch from YouTube. So I don't even know if I asked this, but if I didn't, I'm going to ask it. So how does your community on Twitch feel about you streaming on YouTube?
I like, overall, they were supportive. Even a ways back, they were like, do what you think is best for you. And that's like really cool. I've never gotten any hate from people from like being, why are you streaming there? Because I still stream on Twitch. And I think what's helped is that, they just enjoy the content I make, and they just want to support. They like me as a person and just want to support whatever I do. Because there's very few people that I think wouldn't like. I don't think anybody in my community would just straight up hate the fact that I'm doing one or the other. And I don't plan on like giving up on Twitch altogether, because I still think it can be good. Now, part of me is like, should I just stream like both at the same time and not really care? Which I'm like, I don't think that's good for both. Like, it's not fair to your Twitch audience, not fair to YouTube audience. Of course, like with the way that things are going, there's no way I could keep up with like two different chats at the same time doing all that anyways. But I haven't, because I'm not like, I'm just going all in on one or the other. It's always been, I want to do a little bit here, and I started, posting more on TikTok again. And if I ever meet the requirements to stream on there, I'll probably try it out and see how that goes, because I'm all about, hey, trying new things. Let's see how it goes. And I think that's the right attitude to take just in life in general, is always willing to see how things go, change things up. Don't be afraid of change. A lot of people in life are afraid of change, which just like with anything. And I wouldn't say I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm all for change. But when change happens, or I'm just like, all right, let's see how it goes, instead of, no, I don't want to have to, I'm just set in my ways. I don't want to do anything different. Yeah. That's not the right mindset to take on anything. Things can change for the better. But yeah, I haven't gotten any hate.
Well, that's good.
Anything. So
yeah. I know a lot of people who have been like, oh, I'm interested in going over to YouTube, but my community doesn't want to move over there. So, I mean, I don't think necessarily that their community will hate them, but they just won't go to YouTube to watch. And I think that holds a lot of people back from going to YouTube. Even if they're interested in going to YouTube, they're like, well, my community doesn't want to go there. So that's why I'm always interested in seeing people's communities' responses to moving platforms. Okay, so you touched on this a little bit, but I'm just going to ask you straight up, and we can, go into a lot more detail. What's keeping you on Twitch?
So I would say overall, it's definitely the people that I've met through there. And I think it's more so I can play extra things there, whether it be other games that I don't want to have on my YouTube channel. Still, hang out there with people just are on Twitch. That's kind of like the main things keeping me there. And then part of me is just like, okay, well, people are subbed to my channel, and I feel like I'd let them down if I was just like, hey, I don't want to do anything. I don't think that's fair. It's just like a personal thing. But my Twitch numbers have gone up too lately, which I find interesting. Because again, I hide my viewer count. There are times I might check it if I think maybe this seems off, or is something going on, or something. I think something's wrong with stream. But usually after a stream, I'll look at my average and just be like, well, there's that many people there. Like, it must have been a lot of lurkers or something. But I did not even think that my numbers would be that high. But I think that's a lot in general, is there's a lot of lurkers out there. I would say the primary things keeping me on Twitch is just the history there, the people that I've met. I do like the extra extensions. People love to play sound alerts, things to try to scare me. That's extra revenue too, on the side. It's not primary reason why I do any of this. I don't care. I just love sharing my love for gaming and games that I play. But it is there, and if people want to do it, then they can. That's probably the main things. But just like you mentioned, people who have a community on Twitch, if you want to try YouTube, you don't have to, it doesn't have to be all or nothing. Like me, I started out 1 day a week on YouTube, and it was a day I didn't even really streamed on Twitch ever. Just I'm curious how it's going to go on YouTube. And so I did, and I was like, yeah, this went better than I was anticipating. Okay, maybe I'll try to do something here or there. And that was when I did my YouTube, was days I couldn't, or I'd never really streamed on Twitch, or times I didn't, because I didn't want to break up that routine when people are used to seeing me. But then there was some strategy to it. Like when Phasmophobia released their update, I was like, the biggest creators are going to be on Twitch. I want to be on YouTube, because if people are going to go to YouTube, they're going to see me streaming the new update. They may be more likely to come in and watch. And that was the best stream I ever did, numbers wise, without a raid or anything, on Twitch or YouTube. And it went really well. But again, there was strategy behind it, and there was reasonings to it. But that's, that's the thing. Strategy is also somewhat keeping me kind of on Twitch and YouTube too. But that's why I decided to do more on YouTube, because those numbers have been better. So
yeah. So do you think that you are going to keep streaming like half on Twitch and half on YouTube, or do you think eventually you're just going to move everything over to YouTube?
Maybe not half, maybe like 75-25 Twitch. Like, cause Thursday nights in general for me are like hit or miss if I'm gonna stream. I decided that I'm gonna do Sunday nights. Like, Phasmophobia has weekly mission reset every Sunday night. And so, like last night, I'm like, well, I usually do the weekly missions on Sundays. Pretty good search content stuff too, if people want to watch it. And I'll do it on Sunday nights. That way, the VOD is saved. People can look how I did it. And it's doing it fast as soon as it comes out so people can look for it. Then Mondays, I usually stream Monday afternoon on YouTube. So keep that up. And then if I want to do Monday night, sometimes I do, or sometimes I don't, depending. And like Tuesdays, I usually do it on Twitch. So it just, I think like that would be like the primary thing that I've been angling about switching to. But I don't think I'll ever go like fully one way or the other. But if it would be YouTube. Like if my YouTube just continues to take off, I mean, it would be dumb to ignore it.
Yeah. Yeah. And like you said, it doesn't have to be all or nothing. I mean, I had my friend Lil P on the podcast before to interview her on why she decided to move over from YouTube to Twitch. But at the time I interviewed her, I don't know if she's fully transitioned now, but at the time I interviewed her, she was still transitioning. So she was still doing like half on YouTube and half on Twitch. But her plan was to eventually transition fully over to YouTube. But like very slowly, she was going to, stop streaming on Twitch. So like at first it started off like 50-50 on Twitch and YouTube. And then, slowly over time, it was going to go like 75 YouTube, 25% Twitch. And then eventually after that, it's just going to be completely over to YouTube. So, if you wanted to, transition over to YouTube, you could also do it slowly. Like when I did it, I just went completely over pretty much. Like I tried doing like a few times on YouTube and a few times on Twitch, like per week, and I just felt like that didn't work for me at all. And I was just like, I'm going straight over to YouTube 100%. But you don't have to do it that way. Like but that was really, I think, like a shocker for people. I was like, I'm going to YouTube, and everyone was like, are you crazy? You can't do that. Well, how do you like me now? Okay, yep. So that is all of my questions. Lil P, do you have any other questions or any other topics you would like to bring up?
No, that's about it. Just for anybody listening, if you're struggling or whatever, like don't be afraid to change. Don't be afraid to change. Don't be afraid to try new things, to put more effort into things. Like just if you're not happy, figure out what you can to do something about it, because there are so many options. Like I'm not going to stream on Kick. That's an option too for people. Like, find what, if you're not happy, don't be afraid to change. That's like my best advice I can give people.
I agree. All right. So, Lil P, what do you have coming up for the week? What are you playing? I mean, probably Phasmophobia, but anything specific? When are you streaming? All that stuff.
Yeah. So, primarily on YouTube, I stream Sunday nights now and Monday afternoons, typically, and Tuesday nights, usually what I plan to be doing on Twitch. But in the future, I really don't have much going on. I'm trying to get videos out. There's Phasmophobia is coming to the console, so I'm trying to get guides out. But like next week, I'll be like on vacation for like a week and a half away from like probably the internet too, because I'll be camping at a music festival and probably gonna have like nothing. So be like completely away. But that is the good thing about YouTube too, is like my YouTube channel doesn't stop. People will still watch stuff, still accumulate stuff. May not be around as engaging as stuff, but it's all there. But yeah, so if you enjoy Phasmophobia or the idea of it, hey, check it out. I got a lot of guides. I think I put a lot of work into them. I think they're pretty good, but I mean, that's for you guys to decide.
You could even schedule videos to post while you're on vacation.
Yes, I am trying to. The problem is like I'm not a perfectionist, but like there's always like something else I want to do to it. And I don't do like crazy edits or anything, but even like with my shorts, it's because I'm like, all right, what does the first few frames look like? Is it going to draw attention? Like, just like little things like that. I spend way too much time thinking about.
All right, well, please go check Lil P out. I will have all of his links in the description. Check out his videos and his live streams and let us know what you think if you are debating on whether to leave Twitch or what's keeping you on Twitch, if you're considering going to YouTube or even another platform. I don't really talk too much about other platforms here. It's mostly just Twitch and YouTube. But yeah, let us know. I mean, I did just do an episode on Kick. Speaking of Kick, like I just did do an episode on a friend that does stream on Kick. I haven't gone over there personally. Like I have an account on there, but I haven't streamed on there. I don't know that I'm going to. I just feel like, it's not the platform for me. Like I don't have a ton of information about it, but at this point in time, I just don't feel like, it's my platform. I feel like YouTube is really what's right for me in my home. But yeah, please let us know if you're, debating whether to leave Twitch or not, what's keeping you on Twitch, all that stuff, or anything else we talked about. Thank you so much for listening, guys. We will see you in the next one. Bye.